Hello and welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 31 of our initial run through the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Last time, the map doesn't want to load, but last time we went through the Dark Light Catacombs. And we also took out 2 hippopotamus here on the map. And in that part, we got, I believe, 2 or 3 Scadutree Fragments. I believe we got the dried bouquet, though that was in a different area. We got the Viridian Amber Medallion +3 for the utmost stamina. We got the Death Knight armor set, which enhances skills and incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult. Though, I was kind of hoping it would be death sorceries, considering it's the Death Knight. So, death sorceries and incantations, I don't know if death incantations are a thing, but death magic, it could already use a pickup, so would have been nice here. But anyways, we also got the Big Mouth Imp Ashes and a Great Ghost Glowwort. And this is what the armor set looks like. And we finished it by ending here, taking out the Jory Elder Inquisitor boss, I think they were called, getting us the Barbed Staff Spear, a mostly faith-based Great Spear, which looks like this. And has a pretty cool, unique skill, which I really liked. But that's what we did last time. And this time we can move back over to this set. And almost to a level. Now, I should say, like, before we move on to the next area, I stopped playing, like, I exited the game after the last part, and I came back in, and I was on a different character, so I had to click, like, load character, and it said Abyssal Ruins, or Abyssal something. So, I'm going to assume Abyssal probably means Death Blight. And considering all the trees look dead... Ooh, the trees look cool. Looking up there, actually. But I'm going to assume death. Yeah, it looks weird. And I was actually talking to a friend about the areas that were left, and they didn't give any spoilers, but they said that this area sucks, though they have also deleted Bloodborne and said that they don't enjoy the Thumeru Elder boss, which is one of my personal favorites in the entire series, so I'm going to be taking that opinion with a grain of salt. It awaits inside. I'm going to assume it is probably some horrid monstrosity. Or an NPC boss that goes on a whole spiel before killing me 27 times. It could be either. The spectral steed is frightened and cannot be summoned. Huh. I don't think we've ever gotten a pop-up before. I think whenever you try to do that, you just do the animation and that's it. We've never gotten a pop-up saying that Torrent is afraid or scared. Or even a pop-up saying that you just can't use them. That looks like Frenzy Flame. Now that I'm thinking about it, this kind of looks like Frenzy Flame as well. The, like, yellow, orange, red. And oh wow, that doubled. I had less frenzy resistance than I thought. Turn back while you are yet able. Also, it kind of looks like our sleep is going down ever so slightly faster. I don't know what that's about. I'm hoping that it's Deathblight because, like I said, I can deal with Deathblight a lot better. Darklight Catacombs had some Deathblight to it, I believe. Or, no, it wasn't that one, it was another one. I don't remember where, now that I think about it. Was it over here? Yeah, the Scorpion River Catacombs, that had Deathblight, I'm pretty sure. There's a Site of Grace down there. And that means safety, because the game would never put an enemy by a Site of Grace. I know this in my bones. They would absolutely never put an enemy by a Site of Grace. Also, this area looks big. And I don't think I can go around checking every, like, corner and nook and cranny and whatnot with how big this area is with no torrent. So, don't let it see you. That's... Alright, pulling out the mouse for a second. I thought this thing was one of the Deathblight enemies. The worm faces, I think they're called. Once you are seen, there's no escape. It cannot even be touched. Alright, well, here's the thing. Well, it might not be the thing, but here's an idea. Just because something can't be touched doesn't mean it can't be killed. Well, this looks like the main way, so I'm gonna go this way. Because I like to go the not progress way first. God, yeah, there's a lot of ground to cover, it looks like. That looked like... Yeah, that looks like Frenzy Flame Eyes. That is significantly less good than Deathblight. So you're a bird. I don't know where the bird would be, though. Anyways. Oh, no, it's rats. Whoa. Oh, yep. Frenzy. That's no good. Yeah, Frenzy is very not conducive to health or survival. So that's not good at all. What is this? Winter Lanterns. I think that's the official name, or at least what everyone calls the things in Bloodborne that give frenzy. Flies lasery, flies lazily around the Abyssal forest, so you can stop and read that if you want. But yeah, so we can confirm then this is going to be Frenzy Flame. That's no good at all. But like I said, that idea that I had, just because something can't be touched doesn't mean it can't be killed. So maybe it's something where it's very, very bad for melee builds, but ranged builds can deal with it without too much of an issue, whatever it is. Okay. I don't know if we can get up there from here, or if we'll have to run back. Kind of looks like we'll have to run back. That sucks. Torrent could have gotten us up there easily. I don't know why Torrent would be scared, though. Like, all there is now, right, like, at this moment, it's just rats. Like, I get it that Frenzy Flame can be scary. Oh. Why do we build up Frenzy Flame? Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna ask that. Until I run into something that makes me worry, I'm not gonna worry. Oh, Side of Grace. Okay, that's good. Alright, so I don't think that this is the way that I thought it would be. Because heading into here, I kind of thought that it would be like a horror game area, where it's a giant section, and then there's like a monster roaming around. We can favorite that, and then hit this. But yeah, I kind of thought that it would be a giant kind of intertwining area, which it kind of looks like it is. But I thought that there'd be like a giant monster roaming around. Kind of like something that horror games do. Because that's what it felt like it was building up to. Of, hey, like, turn back while you still can, don't go forward, don't even let it see you, it can't even be touched. I figured they were gonna ramp up to some, like, horrifying monster. And the way that horror games do it, there's like an invisible tripwire. I know that there's some official name. Scripted event, I think it's called. Where it'll be like, there's a line here, and once you touch that line, something is guaranteed to happen. I don't like that this is going down. I think it's called scripted events. Oh, it got very foggy. Oh, I don't like this one bit. Oh no, that's... Oh, item? Item. There was a noise. Oh, there's a thing under me. Alright, so... What? Alright, so I'm assuming this is the thing. I'm assuming that's the thing. Stake. No, I'll go to the last site of grace. You know, I think the last site of grace is good. Yep. So Twiggy cracked here. If you're ever going to a new area and you aren't sure if you can survive or not. Oh, that's one of them. Just walking around. Church in the undergrowth. Okay. Good to know. Right, but... Oh, so... Alright, that's... Alright, so... We're gonna die, probably, but that's okay. Like I said, we just have to learn the area. We just have to learn how to avoid the enemies. I wonder if there's a way to kill them. I do wonder. Hide yourself, make not a sound. I kind of figured that. Quietly await your chance. Combat is not an option. Okay. So that's an option. Over there and to the right is an option. Up is maybe an option, I don't know though. But as I've said, Twiggy cracked here in the Wondrous Physic is great for going to new areas. Because your first time going through an area is when you're most likely to die, and when you're most likely to die multiple times, and when you're the least likely to know the area and to know where you died or where to go or how to deal with the enemies, you know, all that fun stuff. And so Twiggy cracked here, when going into a new area, is super, super good. Because it's kind of like an infinite ring of sacrifice, I think they're called. Oh. I thought it was the enemy over there that you can't combat. Like, that you can't kill. And I went, wow, they threw 4 of them this way. That is ruthless. But no, it's just these guys. That's significantly better. Or easier to deal with, at least. That's significantly easier to deal with. 2 smithing stone 7s. And the purple item, Scadutree Fragment. Okay, so that is here on the map. Starting from the Abyssal Woods, we went off to the right, past 2 giant rats to get that. Good to know, good to know. Okay, so we can move on and head back towards the enemy that cannot be killed. I do wonder if there's going to be a way to kill them. Whether that's a talisman, I kept thinking a ring, but whether there's a talisman that you can throw on to be able to do damage to them, or if there's like a key item you can get, or a special weapon that can damage them. I don't know. There are options. Oh, there's 2 of those. How much do those give again? 500. 500 is not worth it. But I'm very tempted. Because I really like picking those up. And I don't really have a reason for it. Because I don't use them. But I like picking them up. They can't see behind them, can they? I really hope not. But on my other character, who I've been playing online and doing co-op with, like helping people or bosses. Oh, there's one of those things. As I said before, I haven't been doing any areas or bosses that I haven't done on this character yet. I've only done stuff that I've already done. But I've been dropping runes for people. Those like poppable runes. Because I don't use them myself. And I don't know why I don't use them myself. This is risky, but it worked. But yeah, I don't know why I don't use them myself, because I did a run both of Dark Souls 1 and Elden Ring somewhat recently. I don't know where the enemy is, so I don't know which direction they're facing. Oh, I see them now. They're just above our compass thing, like right there. Don't know which way they're facing, though. I hear rats over there. Should be fine to go. We put a decent bit of distance between us and them. But yeah, I did run both of Dark Souls 1 and Elden Ring recently, where after every single area, like, I would go through and I would collect all the items, including all of the poppable souls, runes, whatever you want to call them. And after each area, like, once I got to the end of the area, I would go through and I would pop all of them. And it actually made things a decent bit easier. And so I really don't know why I don't use them. was a weird looking part of the tree there. Didn't know what it was. Steak America, that's a good sign. There's one over there. There's an item over there, up at the top. There's a second guy there. Alright, so I originally thought of this as like one big monster. But it's a lot of smaller guys. Oh. I don't know how far the range of vision is. Both off to the sides. And in terms of like looking in front of them. Because I don't know how far until the second guy sees us and how far we have to move forward before we're safe from the first guy. But even though this isn't the way I envisioned it, ow. They still did a good job of making these guys scary. I'm curious. Can we do this to get them off our back? I highly doubt that they would have this as like an official strategy. Or have this be like the way you're supposed to get rid of them. Well, it worked. I highly doubt that they would have you like put you in a position where you're forced to be spotted by one and then force you to quit out of the game in order to survive. Like have it to be where the next set of grace or point of safety or whatever would get you away from them. Like, I doubt that they'd put it too far away to the point where you were forced to quit out of the game. So I highly doubt that that's what you're supposed to do. I imagine that you're supposed to... Hi. But I imagine that you're supposed to, like, be sneaky, stealthy, slip by him undetected. But quitting the game did work, so we can take that as a on screen, but that thing below us. I don't know what that thing is. I don't know what it does. But unless they run all the way around, I think we're fine. Because it didn't build up frenzy at all. Like I said, that seems like not really the strat you want to go with, but it seems like a serviceable second-hand strat, or if you get caught and you need to get yourself to some safety. Or you need to get them off your back. Oh, this is the foggy area. I wonder if you like squint, can you see them through the darkness? Can you see them before they see you? I don't know. I hope so. Looks... I'm hearing noises in the darkness. I don't like the noises in the darkness, Scoob. I don't know if this just wraps back around to the first guy that killed us. And that's it? Like, I can see that being the thing. Yep, he's there on the right side of the screen. Right there. So, we went left of the Abyssal Woods. And this looks like that. So, I'm going to assume this is what this section is. Of just... like, from the Abyssal Woods side of Grace, you can either go forward or left. And forward is what we went through, where you have to deal with the one in that very large section, and then you have to deal with two that kind of overlap. Or you can go left through there, and there's only one, and it's kind of a shorter path. But it's also extremely foggy. And so it's very difficult to see. I'm going to assume that's what that is. They both lead, or they both start from the same area, they both lead to basically the same area. It's just, do you want to take the normal path that has the one enemy in the extendo section, like the very long section, and then there's some enemies over there. But do you want to do that? Or do you want to go through the shorter section that only has one, but there's a bunch of thick fog that makes it very difficult to see? And that's just a choice that you have to make. And there's one there. And on the first run, or when you're new, the normal path would be better because you can actually see the enemies. But with knowledge and experience, that left path will become better, seeing as it is shorter. I'm assuming that's what that is. I could be wrong. It's my first time going through this area, so obviously could be wrong about that. Mad Craftsman's Cookbook 1. Frenzied Flame Pot. Yep, Frenzied Flame Pot. That would be here. So that takes a one white flesh mushroom, which we have 109 of, and one winter lanternfly. Scales D with everything besides arcane. And you can pause and read that if you want. Okay. I can definitely see that being something invaders use. I kind of thought there'd be a cave around here somewhere. Or a cave-like entrance. I don't know, though. Oh, is that a site of grace? Because that would be very nice. It is a site of grace. That's so nice. Alright, and there's this path up that we can take. But there's also a path over there that I didn't take yet. Oh, we're way over here. We are way over here, and the map fragment is way over there. It would be good to get that. But yeah, we can take... There was the forward path at the first side of Grace. There's the up path on this one. And then there's this path leading off to the right over here. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing is... I favorite every side of Grace that has a path that I haven't taken yet. And then I unfavorite it when I go down that path. Just so I don't forget any paths that I see. Oh, I thought you guys were looking the other way. Shows how much I'm paying attention. Also thought there was an item over here. I suppose not. Anyways. Like I said, I'm assuming that's what that is. Like, from Abyssal Ruins, you can go the normal way forward, or the shortcut, but very difficult to see path off to the left. And if you're new and aren't entirely sure on things yet, then the forward path would be better. But once you gain knowledge and confidence, then the left path will become better. Again, that's just what I'm assuming. Just by taking a quick glance at the two. You can take this. You can go up here, because it's always better to take the up path first. Because you can always just drop down, but you can't always jump up. Well, up path is usually the better option, not always. Nothing is always the better option. If someone tells you it is, they're either exaggerating, being wrong or lying. And, well, exaggerating is a form of being wrong, so. I was exaggerating in the, it's always the better path. It's because it's usually the better path. Kind of like how I say, if you don't know which way to go, always go left. It's not that the left path is always the better way. It's that, in my experience, the left path is usually the better way. Madman, or Mad Craftsman's Cookbook 2. That gets you hefty, frenzied flame pot. That'd be here. Takes 3 white flesh mushrooms and 2 winter lantern flies. Scales C with everything besides arcane. You can pause and read that if you want. Okay. And yeah, I can now see why my friend said that this is the worst area. Not in terms of if you were to rank all the areas, but in terms of, like, I suppose dread would be the word. In terms of just, oh no. Because this kind of feels like a horror area. Not in the way that I particularly envisioned it, but still a horror area. And I think that those enemies did a pretty good job of applying that horror and making you try to be all sneaky. Although the whole Torrent thing, that looks like a house. I don't know if I should go that way or this way, because this way we're moving past that section, but it's also the high area. Like I said, the high area is usually the path you want to go down. I think we can loop back and go through this section. Will we survive this? I don't know. We did. And also we're moving generally in the direction of the map fragment, which is good. You'll love to see it. And also there's a house. You'll love to see houses. Because that tends to mean things like friendly NPC and not death enemies. But in regards to Torrent, I kind of understand why they said no Torrent, but I kind of feel like it could have been a good idea to have Torrent as an option. So the reason why they got rid of Torrent from a gameplay perspective, I mean, the Spectral Sea is frightened and cannot be summoned. I'm going to assume there's a lore reason for that. But the gameplay purpose of it is for you to not have Torrent to just breeze past the area. Because if you got on Torrent, you could just run past all of the enemies, and then that wouldn't be nearly as scary. And you'd have to do this on foot, like we are. and that kind of adds to the scariness of it. You can go left or right. It feels like this way is more likely to end in a dead end. That's a big building. Minor dungeon? I thought that this was gonna be like a shack. Like a small house. No, this is a legitimate building. This looks bigger than Bergenworth. Which isn't saying that much, but still. A lot bigger than I expected. Anyways, like I said, the gameplay reason of it is so that way you can't just ride past all the enemies. And it forces you on foot to kind of add to the horrorness. What's going on here? Birds? Oh, it's people with their heads chopped off. Oh. They're all doing a gesture. I wonder if we can sit down with them and do whatever gesture that is and get some kind of reward for it. Who knows, who knows? But for now, like I said, being able...
Leave. Now. Come no closer. No closer, I say. The madness wears.
Okay. I'm gonna light this. And I'm gonna do that. Midra's Manse. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave. Best of luck to you. Anyways. The whole no horse thing. I feel like is meant to add to the horror. But if you could ride Torrent, I feel like that could have added to the choice. Oh, this leads down here. I don't think we can go this way, though. It looks like it's blocked off. Anyways, like I was saying, being able to get on Torrent and ride, it would take away from the horror, but it would also mean that you get to... Like, you get to have the choice between be sneaky and sneak past all the enemies and it's a lot slower and scarier, or ride your horse and it's a lot faster, but if they can proc madness, then that's half your health. You fall off your horse, there's a whole long animation on that, and one that you are almost certainly not going to survive. And yeah, so it would be that, like, do you go with the safer option or do you go with the riskier but potentially higher reward option? And now that I verbalize that, I do agree with their decision of no horse. So that's a good thing of verbalizing things, because sometimes you can realize that you're wrong, and you can just move on. I don't know how big Manse Hall is going to be. Like, we're at 50 minutes. I don't want to stop things here and then have this be like a 4-minute excursion. But I also don't want to go through it and have it be like a 25-minute excursion. Swollen Grape. Exceedingly rare to find. Used for crafting items. You can pause and read that if you want. There is a summoning pool here. There's a thing there, a guide, talk to a door. So I'm going to assume this is going to take at least a little bit. So we can get another one of those. We're at 19 now. I'm gonna get them all up to 50 because 60 health, 50 endurance, strength, and dex, and then 45 faith, and then after that, probably going into mind would be very nice. Or more into strength and dex after that. Either way, but I think we're going to end it here. So, well, we really went southwest. A lot more than I thought. But we started out, I believe, at the Forsaken Graveyard. We made our way to the Woodland Trail. We made our way to the Abyssal Woods. We made our way up to the Divided Falls. And down to the Manse Hall. Getting access to Midra's Manse. And this whole section. And there's still at least one way to go in the Woodland Trail. And one way to go at the Divided Fall. And we can still explore Manse Hall. So there's still 3 options for us to look into in this area. So we definitely have options. But I feel like this was a nice introductory part into the Abyssal Woods. Where we got to see the enemies, we got to see kind of the gimmick it has going on. I can't tell if this thing right here is like a tree or a hovel or what's going on there. I can't tell. But yeah, new enemy type. And they kind of went, not kind of, they went very much more into the horror side of things, which isn't something we've really seen from Dark Souls that much. Like, as scary as Bloodborne can be, Bloodborne doesn't really lean into the horror that much. At least, not this kind of horror. It does lead into, like, I don't know if body dysmorphia would be the word, but, like, having your body be torn apart and turn you into no longer you, and having you go mad with, like, Lovecraftian monstrosities beyond human comprehension. It goes into that kind of horror, but not this kind of horror, where you are small and helpless, alone, in these dark, foreboding woods, where all the trees are just dead, and there aren't really any animals, and it's very foggy, it's hard to see, You have no help. You really have no help. And there's something maybe just a wee bit beyond your understanding out in these woods that wants you dead. Like I said, the Souls series hasn't really gone into that type of horror before. And so this is very unique for them. And it's not what I expected coming into this area. But it is pretty unique, and I think they did it decently well, so good to see. Happy to see a building in this whole area. The visual design is very nice. I'll go more into my thoughts about the area once we finish it. And I'll give my thoughts on every area in the DLC and most, not all, but most of the bosses. Like, I'm not going to go through like every individual cave boss, because some of them are just like normal enemies. But all the major bosses, along with all the areas, I'll go through and I'll give my opinion on once we finish the DLC, which isn't too far away, though I'm taking my time, so might still be like 5-6 parts away. But with that being said, good progress. Let's see what Mimic's Veil turns us into. Dead rat. Still, I'm really liking this area so far. It's horrifying, but it was done very well. So, with that being said, yeah.